Do you smell that?
Oh, I smell it. It smells like your cup of tea brewing.
Or coffee? Today is going to be an interesting day because we're going to be talking about things that don't come with manuals, but should.
We've come up with 5 things so far.
At the top of our list, babies. We don't know where to begin with them. Lovely creatures, but mysterious. When you get a baby, like I've run into trouble with like my friends who are actually moms, and I ask them, "Can I hold your baby?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Here you go." I don't even know like what am I doing? I don't know how to hold them.
What do you mean you don't know how to hold
They're
them?
the strangest. What do I do? I spank like, hang up. What?
Oh, okay.
How do you handle them?
How would you hold a cat? You pick it up like this and just...
Yeah, but then it's like, oh no, you're putting strain on the neck. I'm like, oh no, you know, it's gonna throw up that way. It's like, oh God. How do I? Good Lord, how am I gonna become a father if I can't hold a baby? My son's gonna have like some kind of.
They're gonna fall on their head.
But of course we don't mean that because we all know you just gotta give him some candy.
To babies?
Ho 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 ho! 'Tis the season to be jolly.
To babies? They don't even have teeth yet.
Why do you think kids love their dads first?
Have you noticed that all babies' cries sound the same, and so you can't tell whether they're if they're hungry, if they need a diaper change, if they're thirsty, if something is bothering them, if they're in pain. When in doubt, you check their diapers first.
See if they left you a little treat, you know, maybe like a little
Tootsie Roll.
Tootsie Roll, or if they're feeling very generous and guacamole, if you catch my drift. Maybe they put some extra carrots and peas in there. They're like seriously little vomit machines. They give more output than they take input. So, if a physicist wanted to understand the science behind free energy, transportation across large distances, just observe one of these Slobbertroll's glob monsters. Babies are a lot like cats. They're cute
Cuddly.
and full of mysteries. They're just so complicated,
But they're cute.
and that's why we have them. Another thing on our list,
Number 2.
the internet. So like, where do you even start? Do you just start with cats? Like, do you just go to Google and type in cats? Like, that's generally how we all start.
Yeah. You started with games. Remember RuneScape?
RuneScape. That was my game.
But nowadays, everybody starts with cats.
So when you're Googling cats, naturally you'll find yourself gravitating to a larger fan base of cat lovers. And that's when you decide if the way of the feline is right for you. But if you tread too far into some very inappropriate territory, you gotta back up.
The weird part of the internet.
You gotta back up. Swerve, swerve, you know? Then you gotta work your way up through social media websites. Alright? You gotta find the one that you prefer. And if you find yourself growing a hatred for, you know, all of humanity and all the societies within this world, then you're probably doing it right. Right? So now you're in the middle ground of your way, knowing how to use the internet. So that, you know what that means, right? You gotta get ready to swerve.
Swerve. Swerve.
Now you gotta look up YouTube videos. I've never been good at winking, but this is for you.
Oh, geez, see, that's creepy. Stop.
And it's almost guaranteed that your first ever YouTube video is gonna have a cat in the background doing some ridiculous thing that, you know, it's going ape. It's defying, you know, physics in the most frustratingly entertaining manner. And then, sad to say, but now you're ready to meet the trolls. And these are not the trolls that live under bridges or feed on human flesh. These are trolls that live under roofs, like you and me.
Who look like you and me.
Who sit on couches and chairs and beds, but they actually thirst and hunger on your human emotions. How vulgar! They just eat up your butthurt emotions. There's no mercy.
Swerve. Swerve.
Now you're ready for the most part. Except you're probably just gonna start back at the beginning, Googling and YouTubing cat videos. Because honestly, I can't stay away from that either. It's just so cute. They're like little fuzzballs full of happiness and joy.
Okay. Number 3 on our list is
3.
women's clothing. You girls understand.
Where do I even begin with that? As a guy who finds the simplest facts about space-time continuum and mysteries of our universe, women's clothing just fall right under that same category. Because I can't put it together in my head like what hole belongs to what body part, and what end leads to what end. And I could have sworn I saw an opening there, but it just disappeared when I flipped it over.
There was a post on Tumblr that was talking about women's sizes, and they were saying that like men's sizes are like they make so much sense, and then you get to women's and they're like by chicken voodoo magic, which I believe. You can never find your size.
Hold on. Tell me more about this chicken voodoo magic of yours. Poking holes everywhere.
Because I can be...
Tell us in the comments, what do you think? Why is it that men's clothes don't change dimensions, but women's do? Number 4.
Number 4 is public restrooms.
Generally, I find most of my problems on the highway, onto and from vacation. Like how every time you try to plan for a trip, you scurry through your thoughts and you're like, okay, am I missing something? Did I forget to bring this? Should I bring that? Mm-hmm. Well, for many, it's their motor skills. Because apparently they just toss that out or just leave it behind and just completely forget about it when they go to restrooms. And those restrooms are full of stank. Take your motor skills with you. You need them. You just use your motor skills to get there. How do you just unpotty train yourself for 5-minute intervals when you're using these things?
How does that happen? Like, how could they not hold it? Could they just not hold it into the toilet? I mean, like, it's on the ground.
Like, there's different things that you find defecating from people in the public bathrooms. One is a urine. Of course, the feces, your stools. And then there's mold. Sand. It just comes out.
In men's?
It just comes out. Who do you talk to when this becomes a serious problem in your life? It's like, not even your mother can understand you. She's like, I worked so hard potty training you all those months. I tried changing your diapers and using that plastic toilet seat that never cleaned itself. She's gonna be upset, man.
And then, the one thing I hate about public restrooms is those fluorescent light bulbs that, like, they're so bright, yet they make the bathroom so dim. And then, like, once you go to the bathroom and you go wash your hands, they reveal every flaw on your skin, and it makes you look like some lizard from Spider-Man.
Like, when did it ever occur to you when you suddenly look in the mirror and you find out that you're actually a toad? And you're nourishing your tadpoles within the very pores of your skin. That's what these restrooms do to you, man.
Number 5 on our list is how to make a manual in the first place.
If I had my own head wedged inside my esophagus, then those directions weren't clear enough. But whoever wrote them was very clever. Good trick.
Have you ever gotten like a decently sized box full of the material you need to build a desk or a chair?
Oh yeah.
But then you find some completely unrelated object, and then you look for it in the manual and it's not there, and you have no idea what to do with it, and so you're just like, oh, it's here, and you have no idea why.
It's like finding like a random crowbar within like a baby cradle building kit. Like what are you even trying to wedge open? Is that for me or is that for the baby? Like the baby cries and you're like, oh no, honey, you're sleeping in the cradle tonight. I can't tonight, baby. You put him in the cradle, and that baby pulls out that crowbar. It's 3 a.m. It's like, crying ain't gonna do it for you no more, woman. Uses that crowbar, smashes the cradle that you worked so hard building, man. And comes knocking on your door with the crowbar. That's what that crowbar is for. That's why you have so many random items. What are they for? I don't understand.
Lab manuals, like chemistry lab manuals. Like they'll go from like the first step, it's so simple, and then the second step, you have no idea where it's coming from. Like how on earth do you go from simple instructions on like mixing some substances to go on to like blasting a UV into that flask just at enough power to not give you and your classmates cancer?
And then it explicitly tells you, tamper with your settings, with your adjustments, as results will vary. What kind of results? Is one of them going to turn into...
What?
Oh,
What?
what's going on? Okay, so basically, if I turn it halfway, that UV light, one of us is going to have cancer. The other one...
Might be lucky enough to live.
I ain't no Betty Crocker of the science world. Alright guys, now it's time to wrap up this video, but more importantly, we want you to tell us, was this your cup of tea?
Or coffee.
Was there too sweet?
Too salty.
Too bitter? Let us know. I'll fix it right up for you. UV lights.
Bye-bye.
Cancer.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.